Carlos, good to catch up with you. Let's start with the important team news first of all. We saw Sorba Thomas end Monday's game with a big brace on his knee. How is he?
Now the situation with him is that we need to wait because he's right now or during this afternoon is going to be visiting the specialist of the knee. As soon as he finishes, I think we will have a better information to know what is the exactly impact of the injury. It's clear that he's not going to be tomorrow, but I cannot give you more information because we don't have more information. We need to know exactly if there was an impact in the knee, if there wasn't an impact in the knee, to know when he can come back or how long we are going to miss him.
Okay. The other injuries are Danny Ward and Levi Colwill. Can you give us an update on them as well, please?
The situation tomorrow is exactly, or the situation today is the same situation that the situation before to play against Middlesbrough.
So none of those three are going to be available tomorrow?
No.
Okay. Any other injuries that have been picked up since Monday?
Josh Coroma is one player that is a little bit on doubt. Let's see how he progresses from the training today to make the decision if he can be involved tomorrow or he need to stop the game. It's not an important injury, but he was feeling something in the hamstring. He was doing today the training, but we don't know his reaction in the hamstring after the training. If he reacts positive, he will be involved. If he reacts negative or he doesn't react well, he's not going to be involved.
Is the key thing now that anybody who picks up an injury at this stage of the season, you can't rush them back, because ideally you want to have as many players available as possible for the playoffs, which hopefully will be cemented tomorrow?
I think I am not thinking now in another thing that is competing tomorrow, because be thinking now in one situation that is no guarantee doesn't mean for me sense. The only thing that means sense is which players can compete tomorrow. And I would like to have all my squad available, but unfortunately some injuries don't allow us to have all our squad available. But still we have all the players that are going to be available are players that are training and that have been competing. So our players that have our full confidence to can compete really well tomorrow.
I wondered, for example, like a player like Pieper, who played really well against Middlesbrough, but he's been out a lot of the season with an injury. How much do you have to manage him? I mean, is he able to play a Monday game and a Friday game, or do you have to kind of manage that situation?
I think now Pieper is in a moment that start to make me think that he can play 2 games in a row. Something that before I didn't have that feeling in the play neither. I think the situation after play the last 90 minutes increased the possibilities or his possibilities to help the team.
And how pleased are you to see him back at such a crucial stage of the season, back to his best?
Yeah. I think it's something very important. It was not only for me the best game of Pieper, it was the best game for me of another player that helped a lot, and their contribution was too high to the result of the team. And for me, this is crucial to have the more number of players available and the more number of players in a good moment. Because always in football, you have some good moments as a player, some bad moments, or more normal moments. We try always to keep the play in the highest level. Not always we can achieve this, but it's important to arrive to one game with a more number of players in the best conditions.
I wondered how you manage these final 3 championship games before we get to the playoffs. Do you look to maybe give more minutes at this stage to people who haven't had a huge number of opportunities, or would you always look to play your strongest side in order to keep momentum going into these crucial games?
In the important and crucial game that tomorrow for me is the game against Barnsley, we are going to play with a more competitive team that we have, what I understand that we have right now, because the importance of tomorrow is too high, like every single time that we are in the pitch. But I know that tomorrow is going to be a special game because we play against one opponent that they have the need to win the game. I was like always analyzing the teams, and I know which teams can be competitive teams, which teams are not competitive teams or are less competitive team, because in the championship, everyone is competitive team. And I understand that we have 3 reasons I have 3 reasons to consider a lot the level of Barnsley. The first reason is because the game is one derby, one Yorkshire derby. And in this type of games, the table never is the most important thing. This type of game has something special that is not about the position of the teams in the table. Second thing, in the last games that they were playing, they were able to draw Fulham, that is the best team in the championship, and they were able to draw with them. They were able to draw against Stoke City, that is a very good team for me. We only could draw with them in the last game, and we lost with them in the first game. They draw with Swansea. We lost with Swansea in the first game. We draw with Swansea in the second game. And they were beating Middlesbrough. And we know how tough how tough is the game with Middlesbrough. And they were winning. So this fact, how they are performing with good teams, you just only have to create the highest level of respect for tomorrow game. I cannot talk about playoff because playoff didn't happen, and anyone have guaranteed the playoff yet. The only thing that I have to do is to put a more competitive team. And I think the third reason that made me have a lot of respect for tomorrow game, a lot means a lot, is the fact that if they will want, they can play tomorrow with the first 11 of players that they were achieving the playoff the last year. So it means that they are competitive players in one tough season. Like I know them, I evaluate them, I watch the games, and I know their dynamic. I think that tomorrow game is one very, very complicated game, very difficult game, that is going to demand a lot of level to defense and a lot of level in attack if we want to take something positive tomorrow. And our full determination is to achieve something positive tomorrow. So imagine that my mind is only focused to analyze Barnsley and to achieve from our team the best team to compete against them in the best way that we can compete.
They are a team under enormous pressure. They have to win every single one of their remaining games to survive, as you've just kind of outlined there. It makes them incredibly dangerous, doesn't it, as an opponent?
Exactly. The situation on the table forces them to be the more aggressive that they can be, the more brave that they can be. But it's one thing that for me, they have the habit to compete like this. And sometimes the result doesn't reflect what happened in the football pitch. The other day, they start the game really, really well. I was talking with my team. They start with one post in the minute third in one very similar situation against Peterborough than the goal that Sinani scored against Peterborough. Sinani was in our right side of the attack. They have the big chance in the left side of the attack. Sinani was goal. The other day, in the finishing that they did, was post. After they have a very good chance in one corner. We scored the second goal against Peterborough in a corner with Tonley's heading the ball. And the other day, they were heading the ball out of the goal. Sometimes football are small details. And small details in a row create dynamics. And dynamics change realities and situations. So that's why I know how tough tomorrow is going to be the game. And we are ready to face one opponent that we know that is going to come to play against us, knowing that the winning is the only result that works for them.
Last sort of thing that I wanted to talk to you about was with regards to Jordan Rhodes, with you saying that Danny Ward not going to be available tomorrow. Is he going to be leading the line again for you? And how pleased are you to see the best of Jordan Rhodes and him playing so well as he is at the moment?
I'm very pleased because for me, like I said after the game, he was one of the crucial players. Being honest, every player for me was crucial because if you don't have a very good individual players, very good individual level of every player, wouldn't be impossible to have won that game. And of course, tomorrow Rose will be in the first 11.
His finishing just seems still so instinctive. How much of that can be coached? How much of that is natural ability?
I think it's natural ability, of course, because he has made many goals in his career with different coaches. So it means that the goal is something that is with him, is not with the coach that can give the goal. I would like to have the skill to improve the goal in the players. It would be fantastic because we know how important are the goals in football. So you can train in game situations, you can advise the player, but for me, like you say, they have to have special skills to can make the difference when they are in the box.
And when Danny Ward is available again, can you see a setup where you might start Jordan Rhodes and Danny Ward together?
They can be playing this year both together, but not from the starting, more from the bench. Let's see which player we have available. Let's see what happens, because for me, every time you miss players, you need to find new solutions. I cannot tell you the solution that I will find because are going to depend about the possibilities that we have.
That's all from me. Thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, Catherine. Leon, we'll come to you.
Good afternoon, Carlos.
Afternoon.
Yeah, almost a year to the day, your side played Barnsley at home. Barnsley won to almost get in the playoffs. What Barnsley achieved last season, did that give your team and club inspiration this season?
No, I think what they did the last year was to show me in football that there are more things than the budgets, and there are more things than the previous experience of the players to achieve something important. It's true. But this has happened many times for me in football, and they achieved this the last year. From a good organization and collective level, they were achieving something that nobody was expecting on the last year. This is, for me, something that is only positive for football. And like I told you, the fact that the last year we couldn't beat them in any of the 2 games that they were playing with them.
Yeah.
In the first game of the league, we only could take the point. It means that I know how demanding tomorrow is going to be the game. Tomorrow the game is not going to be one game that show the difference that you can see in the table, because in the football pitch, the difference are different, and you need to create the difference in when you are performing the pitch. And I know that they will make it difficult to create this type of differences.
When your team has had some adversity and bad results this season, they have reacted very well. That must be a very pleasing aspect of a really good season for you.
I think if you don't react well from the adversity, you cannot be a competitive team, because adversity always appears in the football, in the life, in some moments appear. But the key, exactly as you say, is what is your answer to the difficult moments. If your answer is just to accept the difficult moments and don't try to overcome this situation, you never are going to be a competitive team. You never are going to be a competitive player, or you never are going to be a competitive coach, because I never expect to have like a one way to progress where everything is easy. Yeah. This doesn't, in the life, it doesn't exist. What we need to work is how we react when in the positive moments, how we react when the moments are not positive.
And the fact that your side when you've had injuries, other people have come in and contributed, really well, and there's been no loss of quality. That's been a massive thing as well this season. That's something that must really please you as well.
Yes, especially tomorrow, because like we were talking, some of our players are not going to be available tomorrow, and we need to react as a team, showing that the key, more than individual players, is what we have grown as a team, or what we have developed as a team.
And lastly, I was going to ask you about Jordan. Obviously, it was a tremendous performance on Monday and a great goal. I remember in his time at Middlesbrough, when they had a successful season and got promoted, he scored some big goals, some big contributions, and he has a lot to offer at this point of the season. I
think the fact that he was running a lot only helped me to push him to keep running a lot. The fact that he was fighting a lot only pushed him in the fact that he need to keep fighting a lot. And the tremendous effort that he was doing, the fact that he was doing the other day, means that he can do always. So now for me, this is the best thing that you can receive from the player, because as soon as the player show that can make impact in the football pitch, it's a good reaction after the challenge that he need to show, because he was one player that didn't have the minutes that maybe he was expecting to have. So for me, he gave the right answer to this situation. But at the same time, I need to push him to keep giving the same answer, because as soon as you do something once, means that you can do always.
Yeah. Thanks for your time, Carlos, and good luck.
You're welcome.